What's going on, guys? This is your boy Tyler Oliveira, back at it again with another college video. Today we're going to be looking at how I got into UCLA, USC, and Pomona College, and many more, and taking a look at some of my stats here. Let's start off with the SAT. So you'll see that March 5th of 2016, during my sophomore year, I scored a 1240. However, this was not enough, and I knew that, so I took it 3 more times. January 21st, I received a 1480, a nice 240 boost in the course of a year. I took it again. I could not go beyond that 1480 threshold. I was scoring consistent 770 in the math and 700 in the reading with a 10-point standard deviation. Once again, guys, for all those of you taking this SAT test, keep in mind that the greatest room for improvement typically is within the math section. It's the most learnable of all of them, and you can definitely get an 800 if you know what you're doing, and a 700 plus easily if you put in the time. And then finally, August 26th, my bad, of 2017, I went 1510, and I broke the 1500 threshold, and that's as far as I wanted to go with the SAT. I was tired of taking it. In regards to the subject test, I received a 770 on my history. Keep in mind, guys, if you're trying to get an IVs and whatnot, it's standard for you to have 800s on a lot of these subject tests. And literature, I got a 730. I did poorly. And mathematics, I got a 730. I did very poorly. Keep in mind that a lot of the students that are taking these subject tests score very high. Just the demographic of kids that are taking a lot of these subject tests are extremely intelligent and are typically applying to upper tier, often Ivy League schools, and the expectations for your performance are extremely high, and the curve is not very generous, and you need to score extremely well in these subject tests to impress anyone. And let's go to the AP scores here. So freshman year, I got a 4 on my human geography test. Should have gotten a 5, but I didn't. I'd recommend, if you guys are going to take that human geography test freshman year, do it right and get a 5. European history, I got a 4. Very difficult test. I thought I would have gotten a 5, but got a 4. Only one person in our 562 student class got a 5, from my understanding. So props to her, but that was tough. And then last year, my junior year, got a 5 on everything with the exception of AP Biology. A lot of facts, little preparation. Try to get a 5 on your English test and math too. That also helps when you're trying to transfer credits. And that really allowed me to get the AP Scholar with Distinction Award, which I plastered on my common application. Now, besides the SAT scores, which was 1510 for me, and the AP scores, which were all 4s and 5s, my weighted GPA was 4.67. This is incorrect here. And just the regular scale, it was 4.0. And I was ranked 1 out of 562 with our unweighted GPA, and I think 17 out of 562 with our weighted GPA. And that really just has to do with the fact that I was involved in leadership and sports, which the way the math works at our school, it dilutes my my GPA average, lowering my rank, despite the fact that I got A's in the same classes who people scored higher than me did. So interesting there. Regardless if you're in the top 5 to 10%, depending upon the schools you're applying to, you should be okay. And let's go over my Common App a little bit. I might give you guys a little more insight as to how I got into some of these schools like UCLA, USC, and Pomona College. So some of the courses I'm taking this year, I still stayed pretty strong. Took all AP classes with the exception of entrepreneurship. I was very interested in this course. Honors, let's see here. I was also extremely involved in, let's take a look at the activities here. I think this will be helpful. I was really involved in entrepreneurship throughout my high school career, starting various small business ventures. I started a dog walking business, an e-commerce based business, and some other online businesses throughout my entire high school career. I was very involved in Future Business Leaders of America. I placed pretty well in our sections and state competitions. not well enough to really impress anyone. And I would recommend you guys, if you're going to involve yourself in any activities, make sure you involve yourself extremely deeply, as in putting a lot of time into those activities, opposed to just doing 50, 15, whatever, opposed to doing a ton of activities that you put little to no time into. I would recommend you find 2 or 3 activities you enjoy and invest a lot of time into them, cultivating skills and creating marketable skill sets for yourself that you can sell yourself to the colleges and employers in the future. Really, don't try to do everything. Pick a few things and specialize in those areas. I was very invested in investing. Sounds goofy, but I put in a lot of time investing. Throughout my high school career, I started an investing club. I was trading cryptocurrencies really actively through my junior and senior year. Yeah, so like I said, I started an investing club with some friends at our school. I wrote and published a book. Let's pull that up real quick for reference. No, it wasn't a New York Times bestseller. Let's see if I can find it. I self-published the whole thing, marketed it myself, designed it, wrote it, etc. It was more of an exercise in entrepreneurship, I think, than literature, if you will. I might have a copy. Regardless, let's look it up. It's called, one second here. Wi-Fi is having a rough time, but it's called, let's look it up, see if that pops up. Boom, there it is. It's on sale, $2.99, guys. But it's a self-help book, efficiency, etc. My whole life philosophy. If you guys have a chance, check it out. But I wrote that book and I sent Harvard a copy of it. Did not get into Harvard, but regardless, I sent the upper tier schools and Ivies the copy of my book. It was a nice little touch, I think. Take a look at Activity 6. My friends and I were very involved in our philosophy club. We created it and grew it, and we had a lot of philosophical discussions, and I think it really owed to my debating skills and whatnot that I carried over in mock trial. And mock trial I was very involved in throughout my sophomore, junior, and senior year. We went on to state. We didn't really place beyond that, which is a shame, because not really much of an accomplishment to go to state and not do anything well. But I was very involved in mock trial, and I attained somewhat of a leadership role my senior year, so that was helpful. I was sophomore class president and a junior representative at our school. I lost a bunch of elections junior and senior year, which is a shame. But if you guys can get involved in your student government, I would recommend it if you enjoy that. Towards the end, I really just did not enjoy any of that anymore. I really just wanted the figurehead position at my school, but I didn't get it. So that's a shame. If you guys enjoy it, go for it. If you don't worry about it. Focus on other things. So kind of blur that out there, but I was very involved in my local politician's campaign. I kind of spearheaded some of the internship efforts for his campaign, and that showed a lot of leadership and initiative, I thought. And I was very involved in another local politician's political efforts, interning for him and putting a lot of time into that, showing some dedication and whatnot. So those were a lot of the activities, some of my academic credentials. These were really the things I thought got me in. I think, first of all, my academic prowess, if you will, high GPA, high SAT scores, in addition to an emphasis on entrepreneurship and mock trial, if you will, and combine entrepreneurship with FBLA. I think I really narrated myself and sold myself as somewhat of a budding entrepreneur or businessman, and that was helpful. And that was really it, I think, guys. I sold myself as an academic who was very interested in entrepreneurship, and I think what you guys need to keep in mind coming into this process is that you have to sell yourself as X, Y, or Z, not a jack of all trades, and you need to pick a few things and stick with them and sell yourself accordingly. You need to pick activities that are related to one another, I think, and that create a cohesive narrative of who you are and who you're selling to the colleges. Think of yourself as a marketable asset that you need to sell to the colleges. Once again, guys, you really need to think of yourself as a product, if you will, as a candy bar on the side of the aisle, and you're trying to attract the customer walking down that aisle to pick you up and take you into their basket. you're something that they're investing their time, resources into, and they need you to have a role in their school, if you will. I would like to debunk the myth that schools like people who are well-rounded, because I firmly believe that is not the case. They like their schools to be well-rounded, but for those schools to be well-rounded, they have to consist of specialized individuals in very narrow and specific fields. So I think the biggest thing that you guys need to focus on are, yes, refining your academic prowess, if you will, getting those high GPA and SAT scores. But secondly, you need to create a narrative for yourself and how to sell yourself to the colleges, and create a persona, if you will, of who you are as you're selling yourself to the colleges. So I hope this video helped you guys a little bit. If it didn't, let me know why it didn't. If it did, let me know why it did. Also, remember to like and subscribe to this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you guys have any other ideas for the whole college process that I could help you with.